Damn, y'all. Exact opposite of what I said was going to happen in my last video just happened. Terrence Bud Crawford just made Errol Spence, I wouldn't say average, but he just made him look ordinary. Same thing, I guess, but he just neutralized everything Errol Spence tried to do. I'm not sure if it was, the weight cut or whatever, but Errol Spence just did not look like himself. And I'm not sure if it was Crawford, but Errol Spence, his game plan looked too simple. He was relying on that overhand, and he just kept getting countered. Maybe his timing was off. We do have off days. Same thing I said with Fulton. Like, you can bounce back. It's all about how you bounce back. But to start, man, I'm just saying that was not a close fight. I had Errol getting around one, and he got dropped. I wasn't too worried about it. Then I had him getting around three. The second and third drop aren't what really made me think that the fight was over. It was like after round three, I felt Errol was gassed. Like, he just was not. And like I said, I'm not sure if Crawford was just neutralizing his output that well by checking him with clean, sharp shots, but he just was not. His output just wasn't what it usually is. It looked like he was kind of timid to throw. Crawford was hitting him with some sharp shots. Crawford looked like the sharper fighter. Errol, at a point, he was just missing. He was missing a lot of shots, and then you could tell he got real desperate, and he started throwing that. He started trying to throw that left and land that overhand or that hook with the left, and it just was not working. Crawford was timing it, but he just kept throwing it. That's what I'm saying. His game just. That's why it made him look ordinary. He looked like he wasn't. It was just too simple for you. Can't go in there and fight Crawford that simple. He's a great fighter. I know fundamentals are vital, but I feel like he just was not mixing it up well. He was not throwing good combinations. He was not, jabbing his way in. He looked tired. Like, honestly, he just looked tired. I wouldn't say, I don't want to say anything about weight. He just looked tired. Like, it may not have been weight. Maybe that knockdown just knocked that much out of him. But he looked gassed by like round five, and I've never seen that. I think maybe Crawford, I think Crawford was definitely contributing to that with, those sharp jabs. His jab looked better. Spence was throwing a lot of jabs, but Crawford's jab looked way better. There was times where they would both throw, Crawford's would land, and it would make Spence go back. And in my head, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, if Spence's jab is just not up there with Crawford's, I was like, he has this fight. But like I said, I was wrong about Crawford. I'm fine with that. I do like Crawford as a fighter. I was wrong. And like I said before, the winner of that fight is still pound for pound. I don't care what y'all think about Spence after this. I still think he's a great fighter. I still think he can. I don't know if he can win against Crawford, but I still think he can make. I think he can make it a better fight than what it was. He just has to really. He really has to adapt. He's not going to be able to come in there and same game plan and just like Crawford would do the same exact thing. I'm not sure if going up to 154 is going to help him. Like I said, Crawford just looks sharper. Now, you can say, oh, maybe he was drained. Maybe that's why he wasn't as sharp, but I don't know. Crawford just looked much sharper than him. Errol was missing a lot of punches. He was really doing the same thing. Like these, I wouldn't say he looked different from his past fights. The shit just wasn't working. None of his shots looked powerful, and he was reaching with a lot of shots, but none of his shots looked powerful, and he was just getting caught. He didn't look as sharp as he usually does, and again, I'm not sure why, but Errol, you gotta bounce back, man. We believe in you here. Shoot, I like Bud, but I want to see you hoisting those belts, or I mean, even if it's not for the belts, even if y'all fight at 154, I want to see Errol, the true Spence Jr. I want to see him be number one pound for pound. And I think that's possible. He just has to I don't think he can go in there with that game plan of I'm gonna knock him out. In the back of my head, I kept thinking Errol Spence keeps talking about he's gonna put him down, he's gonna put him down. I thought Errol Spence was gonna, try to outbox him at a point. But it seemed as if his game plan was to land that left, and he thought that was gonna knock him out. And he landed it a couple times. Like, really, he landed a couple good shots, clean shots on Crawford. But Crawford's chin was better than what he expected. I think he thought Crawford had a glass chin. Again, I'm not sure if Errol's power just wasn't there like it is, But it looked like he landed some good shots, and Crawford just ate him. He was touching the body, but his body shots just didn't look like they had that same thump that they usually do. And again, props to Crawford, because he was not only eating them, but he was giving Spence something back every time he touched him there. Every time he came in, he wasn't coming in, and he was if he was coming in, he was feeling something on the way in. He was feeling something on the way out. Or if he didn't, I started seeing Spence do this a lot. He had his hands up. And that's why I was like, like Crawford has him. Crawford has him, because Crawford was calm, and there's a lot of times he make a subtle movement, and Spence would just fall for it. He throw his hands out like that, and I mean, that's not really the worst thing, but I think it just shows that, you know, they got you. You know what I'm saying? Crawford got in his rhythm. He got Spence off his game. Spence never been knocked down. I do think he let that. I don't know if he let the knockdown get to him, but it's something. It was something, because he came back. I want to say he didn't let the knockdown get to him, because he came back in round 3. He came back in round 3 and had a good round, and he won the round. But I do kind of think it contributed a little bit. That has to play with your mind. You tell a guy, you can't knock me out. You can't knock me out. And then round 2 of the fight, he knocks you down. Now, I thought in my head, if Crawford's going to get him out of here, it's going to have to be early. But in reality, I was like, nah, it's not really going to happen, though, because I thought Errol Spence's output was going to neutralize him. Errol Spence was going to be throwing more than what he was throwing. I just felt like he was a little too simple for what Crawford brings to the table. Like, I think he thought he was just going to throw a lot of jabs each round, but the jabs just didn't look powerful, and I feel like he wasn't mixing up how he was throwing them enough, because Crawford I was watching and I was like, it looks like Spence is throwing the same, like his timing felt the same every time he came in. And then by the time he noticed, like, all right, I got to do something different, I felt like he was gassed. And that was blowing my mind, because I was like, bro, Errol Spence does not get gassed. He looked gassed. And yeah, was he touched up? Was his face bruised? Was Crawford landing good shots? Yes. You know, I've been in the ring before. Does that contribute? Yes, it does. But, like, damn, these dudes train for, what, 18? Didn't they say Errol was doing 18 rounds? Easy. I feel like that shouldn't affect them how it affects somebody like me, who can barely, I'm not a professional. So I go in there, I get hit. Yeah, that's going to wear, that wear and tear is going to hit me. Errol was getting hit. I feel like it shouldn't have he shouldn't have been that tired that early. That was really early. Like, I think in my head from watching it, it looked like round 5, Errol just was neutralized. I think I made a tweet. I said Crawford neutralized his output. And that's what I said. That's what I told you. I said, I think his output is going to win him this fight. And I said, I think he's going to make Crawford look ordinary. Crawford made him look ordinary. Crawford neutralized that output. Crawford did everything he was supposed to do. He fought a perfect fight. Spence, I think you just had an off night. I love you. I'm still rocking with Team Spence. It's still man down. Still strap season. I think he can come back and, get it back in blood. I hope he does. But if he doesn't, I still want to see that rematch. I think that should be their next fight. If he loses that, so be it, man. Crawford's just a better man. Move up, move on to a new division. Then I want to see Crawford versus Boots. But I do believe in Errol, so I don't want to skip too far ahead. Let's Errol. Hey, lock it in, bro. Lock it in. We believe in you. Keep going and bounce back. And Crawford, shout out to you. Pound for pound, #1 in the world.